In October 1999, Egypt Air Flight 990 crashed into the Atlantic, killing all 217 on board. Relief First Officer Gamil El-Battouti's unexpected presence in the cockpit raised many questions. With mechanical failure and terrorism ruled out, investigators focused on his actions. What really happened in the final moments of this tragic flight? Let's uncover the mystery. 30th of October 1999. Hotel Pennsylvania, New York City. The hotel where Egypt Air's flight crew stays during layovers. Captain Hatem Rushdie, Egypt Air's chief pilot for Boeing 767s, walks into First Officer Gamil El-Battouti's room. El-Battouti, once an Egyptian Air Force flight instructor, is one of Egypt Air's oldest first officers. Due to his age and experience, his younger co-pilots respectfully called him Captain. Despite his professional skill, El-Battouti had a dark side. He was a husband and father of 5, but was known for sexually harassing female guests and hotel staff during layovers. The airline tolerated this for a while, repeatedly advising him to behave properly, as he represented Egypt Air in America. 2 years earlier, 2 girls had reported that El-Battouti called their hotel room, asking them to look out the window. When they did, they saw him exposing himself. The incident was reported to hotel security. In another incident, on the 29th of October 1999, El-Battouti sexually harassed a hotel maid again, adding to his record of complaints. Now, Captain Hatem Rushdie came to give El-Battouti a final warning and revoke some of his privileges. Rushdie told him his actions could no longer be ignored, and something had to change. "Gamil, we've known each other for years, but this will be your last flight to the United States." Rushdie warned him. He informed El-Battouti that his next flight to Cairo would be his last, and he would not fly to America anymore. El-Battouti had lost his privileges and was humiliated. He likely thought, if this is my last flight, it will also be Captain Hatem Rushdie's last flight. Just after 1 a.m. on 31st of October 1999, 217 people are on board Egypt Air Flight 990, awaiting takeoff from New York's John F. Kennedy Airport. The flight's command captain, Ahmed Al-Habashi, a veteran of 36 years, is at the helm. Alongside him, 36-year-old First Officer Adel Anwar, who had switched shifts to return home early for his wedding. Also in the cockpit is Captain Hatem Rushdie, Egypt Air's chief pilot for the Boeing 767. At 1:20 a.m., First Officer Anwar is going over takeoff clearance with air traffic control. Following a routine blessing, the co-pilot assists with takeoff as both pilots push the throttles for safety. On a 10-hour flight, Egypt Air typically assigns a relief crew to share flying duties. The command crew handles takeoff and landing, while the relief crew manages the middle portion. Tonight, Captain Rauf Nur al-Din and First Officer Gamil El-Battouti are the relief crew, set to take over after the first 3 or 4 hours and fly until just before reaching Cairo. Many of the passengers are senior citizens from the United States, eager to explore the wonders of ancient Egypt. The flight is staffed by 14 experienced Egypt Air crew members. There are 33 Egyptian military officers and pilots returning home after their training with the American Armed Forces. Just over 20 minutes after takeoff, El-Battouti prepares to leave his seat. The younger first officer is surprised by El-Battouti's decision to replace him so early in the flight. El-Battouti then steps away to grab his meal. Captain El-Habashi notices his first officer's resentment and attempts to ease the tension. First Officer Anwar ultimately agrees and prepares to hand over control to El-Battouti. Normally, this is the most relaxed phase of a long flight for both pilots and passengers, as the highly automated aircraft systems manage the flying for several hours. Egypt Air Flight 990, a Boeing 767 bound for Cairo, seems to be cruising smoothly over the Atlantic. In the cockpit, Relief First Officer Gamil El-Battouti is alone, as the captain has gone to the washroom. After Captain El-Habashi leaves the cockpit, El-Battouti repeats, "I rely on God," over and over. He disconnects the autopilot, causing the plane to descend and roll to the left. El Battuti pushes the control column forward, lowering the elevator panels, and reduces engine power by pulling back the throttles. The plane sharply dips and zero gravity fills the cabin. Captain El-Habashi, disoriented by weightlessness, struggles to return to the cockpit. Once inside, he asks about the situation, but El Battuti remains silent. Warning alarms blare as the plane reaches dangerous speeds, nearing the sound barrier. The aircraft's structure starts to weaken under immense stress. The captain pulls back on the control column, trying to stop the dive, but he cannot regain full control. He attempts to use the throttles, unaware El Battuti had cut off the fuel. In desperation, the captain deploys the speed brakes. The plane slows down, pulling back from the edge of the sound barrier. The nose begins to rise, shifting from zero to double gravity. Captain El-Habashi fights to stabilize the plane, and the dive slows. Suddenly, the engines shut down, and the power fails, plunging the plane into darkness. The voice and data recorders stop recording. The plane climbs from 5,000 to 7,500 meters. The captain pulls back to make the plane climb, while El Battuti pushes forward, causing the plane to descend. The aircraft suddenly plunges again, and the left engine is ripped off due to extreme stress. At 1:52 a.m., Flight 990 vanishes from radar and crashes into the Atlantic Ocean, about 100 kilometers from the American coast. Only debris remains at the crash site. Authorities soon realize there is little hope for survivors. Among the passengers were 100 Americans, 89 Egyptians, 21 Canadians, and 7 from other countries. On the 21st of March 2002, after a nearly $10 million investigation lasting 2 years and 5 months, the final report was released. It concluded that the probable cause of the EgyptAir Flight 990 crash was the airplane's departure from the normal cruise flight and its impact on the Atlantic Ocean, caused by the flight control inputs of the relief first officer. Thanks for watching. If you like such videos, support us with your likes, shares, and comments. Thank you.